Toronto Raptors beat the Washington Wizards 140-110 and improved to 11-5 on the season and have now won Group A in the NBA Cup. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the newest episode of the Raptors Rundown. I'm your host, Yousuf, and the Toronto Raptors are now one win away from booking a spot in Vegas, baby. You know, I'm just happy that it's taken us this long to play some sort of meaningful NBA Cup basketball, even though, you know, I was trying to tell myself in the past that the NBA Cup doesn't really matter, you know, it's a Mickey Mouse tournament, but now that we're doing well, this NBA Cup matters more than the goddamn championship. Because it has me, who is a psychopath, like watching this Washington Wizards game, getting absolutely hyped over every single basket like it's the goddamn playoffs, because this game meant everything to us. Assuming the Cleveland Cavaliers had beaten the Indiana Pacers, it was obviously going to happen. A little bit scary though, because Andrew Nembhard and Pascal Siakam are insane, but we got our job done. Cleveland got their job done, and we have now booked our spot in the quarterfinals, winning Group A in the East. It was always a winnable group. I always had faith, especially because our first two games were against our only competition, and after we won those two, it was smooth sailing from then on. So yeah, it gave me a big boost of confidence, especially winning that Cleveland game, and then the Atlanta game was just the cherry on top. And now we're in the quarterfinals. And I wish I could tell you guys I had some intensive, you know, analyst version of a breakdown for this game, but like, let's be honest, man, who was really taking a deep dive into this game? How I watch games, I usually have it on my monitor and then have my notes app open on the side, and I'm taking little notes, you know, jotting some of them. This might have been the shortest like notes app I've ever had, you know, when watching a game. Couple things that stood out for me. We turned the ball over too much. Didn't hurt us because it was the Wizards. I literally wrote down, God, the Wizards suck. RJ had a good quarter in the second quarter, scoring the ball. Brandon Ingram's defense looks to be back. He had an incredible play where he got a steal, dove on the ground. Jamal Shedd's really entertaining, mic'd up. He was really happy seeing Ingram dive for the ball. There were too many easy layups for the Wizards. It's what kept them in the game. Sandro Mamukellis really forgot how to hit layups at first, but then the second half is where the Toronto Raptors realized that they were playing the Washington Wizards. They clamped up and they went off offensively, scoring a season-high 48 points in a quarter. This is the quarter where Scotty Barnes started actually scoring. He ended up having 14 of all his 23 points. There was one scary moment actually in the fourth quarter where Brandon Ingram, I don't know why he was in the game, we were up like 25 or something. He got an and one. Bob Carrington ended up getting a flagrant foul, stopping him from landing. He twisted his ankle a little bit. Luckily, A, it wasn't the ankle that he injured in the past, and B, he was completely fine. He's not on the injury report for the Brooklyn game, so there's that. Thank God we escaped what would have been a nightmare scenario for your Raptors. And for his first chain of the season, Sandro Mamukellis goes off against the Washington Wizards. 23 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal for your player of the game. And I mean, everybody went off. Let me just say some of these stats. 24 for Ingram, 24 for Barrett, 23 for Scotty. Jakob Pearl didn't play much, he had 3. Emmanuel quickly went off again, he had 17 points. Sandro Mamukellis had 23. Jamal Shedd had 10 assists. My God, we went off today. It was the most free stat padding game ever, and I love it. And because this is a shorter episode, because there's not much to talk about, instead of taking a deep dive into the Washington Wizards game, I wanted to take a deep dive into a little bit of the Raptors season and what's been successful for us. Number 1, fast break points per game. We are among the top teams when it comes to fast break points. We're averaging around 21 points per game in the fast break. So, and I mentioned it in the last episode, it's not only just off of turnovers, it's off of makes, and it's off of misses. So, the Toronto Raptors are out there running. They're showing how well conditioned they are. It was a big talking point from Darko Rakovic. It's been amazing. A lot of our scoring, about 50% of our scoring has been from points in the paint, meaning that it's clearly some of the spacing issues that we were concerned about earlier on has not impacted us at all. RJ Barrett's rim pressure has helped us, Scotty Barnes' rim pressure has helped us, and Brandon Ingram has been able to facilitate in the mid-range fully because Scotty Barnes has taken a lot less mid-range shots, RJ Barrett's taken a lot less mid-range shots, so everybody's been facilitating in the spots that they're successful at, and when Emmanuel quickly shooting the ball well, everything opens up for us. And the last stat that I wanted to talk about is our pace. We're near the top when it comes to NBA's per game speed metric. When it comes to pace, we are running up and down the floor constantly. And I already talked about our conditioning, but we are so well conditioned this season. Everybody's running up and down the floor. Having a 10-man deep rotation where we're mixing up these lineups has definitely helped a lot. Constant substitutions. No one's out there tired. No one's out there huffing and puffing. gasping for breath, and if they are, Darko Rajakovic is mad enough to take them off. We need to start talking about the Darko Rajakovic for Coach of the Year nod, because honestly, at the start of the season, it's funny, I saw a stat where he was one of the favorites to get fired, or be the first coach to be fired. Luckily, that wasn't him. Willie Green, my condolences. But now, he's one of the favorites to win Coach of the Year. And Toronto Raptors stay at top of the East. I think it's a two-man race between him and JB Bickerstaff. And, maybe potentially Jamal Mosley if the Orlando Magic come up, Quinn Snyder if the Hawks continue thriving. It could be a lot of different people, but Darko Rajakovic is definitely in that conversation. Let's talk some NBA Cup, because now that we are qualified, we can actually start looking at some of our potential opponents. Other than the Heat, who are 2-1, are in a group with the Milwaukee Bucks, who are literally undefeated in group stage play, and they have Darvin Ham as their coach, or their assistant coach, who is undefeated in the NBA Cup. We have the best point differential with 54. So I'm pretty confident that our quarterfinals matchup is going to be against the best second place team in the Eastern Conference. And all the second place teams are the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Orlando Magic, and the Miami Heat. So I'm going to put on my guessing cap, and I'm going to predict that our quarterfinals matchup is against, I'm going to say the Miami Heat. I'm feeling a fun quarterfinals matchup. Norman Powell returns to Toronto, trying to prove that he's an all-star again. You got all these people. Khalil Ware is starting to blossom. Davion Mitchell wants revenge for the Toronto Raptors trading him. There's a lot of great storylines in that game. And Andrew Wiggins returning to Toronto. That's always fun. But yeah, I understand this is a little bit of a waffling episode. I mean, the next game is against the Brooklyn Nets, so that's probably not going to be much better. Jakob Poeltl is out for that game, so I do think it'll be a little bit tougher without our big man. Nick Claxton feasted against us in the first game, so not having that 7-foot rim protector is going to be a little bit more tricky. But the Raptors, it's the Brooklyn Nets, man. You cannot let them. And MPJ's coming off a game where he went off, so he is due a bad game. We have to limit the offensive rebounds. There was a big talking point from that first Brooklyn Nets game. We have to start off without looking sloppy like we have in a lot of games this season, including, honestly, the Wizards game. I set out a challenge for us to blow them out by the second quarter, and it took us until the third, which was really, honestly, we went to half only up 10 or 11 against the Washington Wizards. You know how nerve-wracking that was for me, because it takes a loss like that for this, high of a season it has been for the Raptors to fall down a cliff. A loss like that could ruin all sort of momentum, and we will need that. And like I said, these are important wins. These are must wins against these teams like Washington, Indiana, Charlotte, and Brooklyn. And I am a cup respecter. I want my Raptors to go out there and give it their all and win it. It's going to be very tough, because we may have to face the red hot Detroit Pistons in our way. We might have to face the goddamn OKC Thunder, who look unbeatable right now. No, seriously, that team is insane. I was really interested in that Utah game, because Lauri Markkanen was looking like a Thunder killer. It was a close game, and then I blinked and they're on a 30-4 run, and they've blown the game up. It's insane to watch. But the amazing thing about the Cup is that one game can change it all, and all you need to do is be better than the team you're playing on the night, and you can win the Cup. God, what a great start it would be to this new regime by winning an actual trophy in the NBA, no matter how meaningful or meaningless you think it is. It is silverware. All jokes aside, though, I think these are incredibly valuable minutes and incredibly valuable games for our Toronto Raptors, for this young Raptors and this new regime. Darko Rajakovic spoke a little bit about it, and I think it does nothing but help this young team. You can't really mimic perfectly playoff minutes, but I think this is the best thing that mimics those playoff minutes, other than the play-in, which is also the postseason. So giving us these valuable minutes of new intensity, less calls being given, the refs allowing more things to go, this next level of, this game, win or go home. It's something that a lot of these players haven't experienced, A, ever, or B, in a while, if you're talking about RJ or Mario Quickly, or even Scotty Barnes. Honestly, everybody. No one's been... Jakob Poeltl's never played meaningful minutes on a playoff team before. But yeah, with that being said, I know it's a shorter episode. You gotta allow me. There's not much to talk about with the Washington Wizards. Make sure to continue supporting all, subscribe, and comment down below your prediction for our opponent in the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode of the Raptors Rundown. Peace out.